Hi my students, hope you are doing well. I noticed some of you had a problem of saving and sending their work. Before starting a new lesson, I'll show you how can you do it. I will open Visual Basic. I want to create a new project. Windows Form application. I will name my project as variable. So here is my project name variable. I will save my work. To save your work, you have to select the option Save All from the toolbar or from File, Save All. A dialog box will appear. Here you can change the name of your project, change the location and the solution name. I'll keep the name and solution name the same. I will change the location using the Browse option. I want to save my work on the desktop, so I will select desktop, a new folder. I will name it as Visual Basic. So here the location, desktop, Visual Basic, save. I will close my project and go back to the desktop. Here you can find the new folder Visual Basic. Open it. You will find your project here. I will open my project again. Today we will create a program that do a mathematical operations. First, we should start with user interface. I have it here empty, so what do you think we have to add to our form? If the user will enter two numbers, which control we will use to ask the user to add the numbers inside it? We need a text box. So I'll go here, look for the text box. This is the first text box. I need another one for the second number, so I will copy this one and paste it, move it here. Now I have to add an action control to my form, so I will go for button control and add it to my form. Here I want to change the text to add instead of button 1, and I'll format the text. I'll keep it here in the middle. Till now we have the place here for the first number, the place for the second number, the action button, we have it here, and now we have to think about the result, where we can put the result. The result should appear in a label control. So let's see where is the label. I will add a label here. Here is the result. I will change the format of this one. Auto size, I will change it to false, and also I need to change the text to result. And format the label. Now, do you think I have to add something to my form here? I have to ask the user to add the numbers, so I will add another label. Instead of drag and drop, I will copy and paste this one I will change the text for this label from result to enter two numbers. Now I'm done with user interface. Let's start now adding the code to the program. Double click on the button. In this program we have two new inputs, number 1 and number 2. So we should define these two numbers. We call these two numbers variable. To define the first variable, I will add the keyword DIM. This keyword in Visual Basic means dimension. It's used to create a variable in Visual Basic. So DIM, dimension, I will call the first variable as number 1. So dimension number 1 as, I will define it as an integer. I want to use it as an integer, so I will select integer. This is for the first variable or first number. Also we have to define the second number. Same way, we will use the dim keyword. I will call the second variable number 2. I will define it or use it as an integer. We have too many types of variables, but here we will use these numbers as an integer. So I will correct this one. Okay, now I have number 1, it's an integer, number 2, it's another integer. So here we reserve two locations for these two variables in the memory. Now we have to assign a value for these two numbers. So number 1, this object it appears here, I will select it, equal text box, here this object text box 1, which is the first value the user will enter it, dot text, and number 2, I will assign number 2 to have the value of the second number, number 2 equal text box 2 dot text. Now the result of the addition will appear in the label. So let's see what's the name of the label. Make sure this label named as label 1. I will copy the name. I will write it or paste it here. Label 1 dot text equals, now it equals number 1, which has the first value, plus, now I will use the addition operator, plus sign operator, number 2. Okay, now we are done with adding two numbers code. Let's debug it. Start debugging. Now enter two numbers. Let's try to add any two numbers. This is the first one and this is the second one. Click on add. This is the result. I think I have to change the font size of these two texts here, so I'll go back to the form, select the first text box and change the size to 28. Same for the second text box. I will run my program again. and here add, and this is the result. Going back to the form window, I will add another button to subtract the two numbers. So I will copy and paste this button, and I have to change the text to subtract. Double click on subtract button to add the code. No need to rewrite all these comments, just you have to copy it and paste it in the second procedure, button 2 procedure. You have only to change the sign from plus to minus, as we will use this to subtract the two numbers. Run the program. Here I'll enter the first number 10 and 7, and if I want to subtract these two numbers, here subtract. Okay, now going back to the design window, I have to add a button to clear the text. I will copy and paste this button. I will keep it here. I want to use this one to clear text, so I will change the text to clear text or number. Font size. Okay. Double click on the button. Now when I click on this button, I need text box 1 object dot text equals nothing. So I will put the inverted commas without any text, and also text box 2, the second object, dot text shows nothing. So I will add space between the inverted commas. Let's run this program again. Add the first number, second one, subtract, clear numbers. Then you will be able to add two different numbers. Add, and I'll close the executable file. Now I will save all files. Click on again save all icons. I will close the project and show you where can we find it. I saved it on the desktop inside Visual Basic folder. Double click, you can find your project here. If you want to send it to me, you can use right click, compress your folder, or if you want to send only the debug folder, compress the debug folder and send it. Thank you. Have a good and safe time.